think we're live, guys. Hey, welcome to PJs and Paintbrush with Vicki Jean. We are going to paint tonight in our PJs, right? And I have mine on. You guys have yours on? And I've given you the supply list. So you should have everything ready to go. And we'll wait here just about another minute. We're going to start right at 7. I have about another minute, so we'll wait till people kind of get on, and you get your brush, your water, your acrylic paints, your mixed media canvas or pad or your canvas, and let me see if I get all of my tech stuff working here, and we will be good. I'm trying to get the comments, I hope. So, yeah, I think we got it. Hello, everybody. If you are on here, please say hello. Please tell me where you're from. And that way I can maybe catch these comments too, right? Okay, let's get it started, right? I hope everybody enjoys this. I hope you guys had a great day. And now is the time to just breathe. Just try to relax and just have a stress-free painting night. Now, as I promised, we want to do this in an hour or less. And you need to have that hair dryer. I've got mine ready down here. And we're going to start in because I have got 7 o'clock. In fact, I got 7:01. So let's get going, guys. I'm glad you joined me, and I hope you are painting in your PJs. And if you are, and you don't mind, post a picture after this is done of you painting in your PJs. And it might be kind of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to an overhead so you can see. I have my paints ready, and I've got them right here. So I've got my yellow and my golden yellow. I've got a little light pink, got a medium blue, medium green, turquoise, and a white. And we're going to get started right now because I promise you this is going to be a fun night. Here is the sample canvas to do. Now, if you want to, you can kind of lightly sketch out. And what I mean by sketching, because this is something that I teach to simple sketching. As you can see over here, we've got kind of a larger flower, a couple larger flowers, and then we have one coming off to the side, right, up here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flowers in this painting. Now, you're the artist, and you can do it the way you would like, but I like the variety of large and small. So we're going to start out, and I'm going to kind of lightly sketch just kind of an oval right here. Just a real light sketch. Now, this is acrylic paint, so I can do it darker, and I want to do it to where you can see it. I am painting on my mixed media pad, as you can see. Now, I'm going to do another flower up here. Right there. Then I'm going to do a smaller one. Just a smaller one kind of there. Doesn't have to be perfect because, you know, doesn't have to be an oval, doesn't have to be a circle. Just you're dividing up the shape, seeing where you want to position your flowers. So over here is pretty open. On the right, let me move my paint off to this side and I'll bring it over here. And I'm going to put one right here, flower. Then I'm going to come down. Now, all of this is going to be greenery, right? So I'm going to wait to put the flowers down here until I got the background ready. So right now, we're going to work on the background. And I have my, hold on just a second. I thought I had mine. Well, see, this gives you an opportunity. You can see my PJs, right? I've got dachshunds on the bottom of them. Of my pants. Okay, I've got my round brush here. I'm going to dip it in water. And then I'm going to touch in with the green. This is a medium green, right? This is my round brush. And I'm going to actually touch on the side of my white. So I have two colors on this brush. And basically all we're doing is coming in and bringing in some greenery. And as you can see, I'm just tap, tap, tapping. Very easy. Coming a little bit between those flowers. This is a kind of a medium green, even though I add a little bit of white to it. You're coming down. You're going all the way around to the other side here. And you're just tapping. You're just tapping. It's very easy. Load your brush up again with green and then tip it in the white. See how it gives different shade. We're adding a tint to that green. So we've added white to it. And you're just tapping around. Now you're going to have a mixture of a darker green in some places. There's going to be some lighter green in some places. Isn't it comfy painting in your PJs, guys? I think so. And if you've had a hard day at work, this is a nice, hopefully relaxing time for just you. Just for you. That's what I do. I like to teach painting so that others can relax, learn some techniques, learn something new. See, I'm kind of filling in a few places. You might want to leave some white. You always want to kind of leave a little bit of white, especially when you watercolor. Now, I don't know how many is watercoloring. Most of you might be just using acrylic paint. But if you are watercoloring, you want to add some white. Keep some white here in the background. Okay, you see how I've done that? Now, while that is still wet, I'm going to add a little bit of a yellow. I'm going to touch, I haven't even washed my brush out. It's still got that green. I'm going to touch a little bit of side. Now, you notice I don't go in the center of my yellow. I don't want to muddy that. I don't want to dirty that. I'm just pulling a little bit off the side. And we're going to tap around some more with that yellow. Right on top of that green that you just put down. Now, like I've always said, you guys are the artist of your painting. If you want it a lighter green, then add a little bit more white. If you want darker green, then keep your dark green. Your mid-tones are dark green. I've got a little bit of variety here. I want to have some variety. Because, you know, the grasses, especially now in the spring, you've got all kinds of colors. You've got light greens, dark greens, beautiful shades. So that's what I am aiming for. Okay. I am going to wash my brush out now. Just going to blot it on my towel here. And I'm going to add some white. And like I said, I'm pulling out from the side. I don't want to dirty my main puddle. And I'm going to lighten this up. Now watch this. See, some of this paint is still damp, right? So look at the colors. They just mix together. Oh, don't you just love it? Now you might want to move your brush around. Don't put it in the same position each time. So do you guys think that you can paint Do you think that you can paint a pretty painting in less than an hour? Do you think we're going to make this? Tell me in the comments if you think it's possible. No, we're not going to paint a Rembrandt. No, you know, it's not going to be a lot of detail. But it's a fun night of painting in your PJs and still learning some techniques in minimal time. You know, people don't have time anymore. We don't have time. Everybody is so busy. And it is kind of discouraging. I feel like it gets discouraging when you want to learn something and you're bombarded with other things, you know, and the time is an issue, right? So I just thought I would try to do the PJs and Paintbrush with you guys because of that. Just because of that. I add a little bit more yellow down here. We're working on getting the background the way you want it. So if you want some more yellow in places, go ahead and do that. I'm trying to get it fairly even, balanced, I guess I should say, with the yellow in certain. It's more yellow up here actually than it was down here, so I'm adding a little bit more. But I still want to keep the areas too that are just mixed with color. I don't want to make it muddy. I don't want to put so much down that it all looks the same. I don't want that. And see, I'm just using my round brush. We will use this round brush through the whole night painting here. Just tapping it, just kind of tapping it. Now there's other brushes you could use, of course, but I thought tonight we would just go ahead and work on with one brush. Now if you notice, when I come down around here, I just didn't do complete line. You've got some high places and some low places. You want this to look more like some greenery, you know, grasses and stuff. So don't just straight, don't do that across. Just kind of add a little variety of high and low places, and it will add a difference to your paintings. Okay. How we doing, guys? How you doing? Now up around here, we need to add a little greenery. As you can see over here in this sample, I've got a little bit of greenery too. So I'm going to dip into my green, just pulling a little bit out and pulling a little bit of the yellow. And I'm double loading. I've just got two colors on there. And I'm going to go around this bottom area, maybe pulling out a few shapes that kind of resembles leaves. A few leaves. Come over here, paint a leaf. Just a real simple one. Bring some more down over here. So now's the time that you do need to work on getting this done, this part finished, the way you want your greenery to look, your background. A little bit more white in places. Like I said, this is kind of more of an abstract type floral painting. It's not precise. It's made to look that way. You still know it's flowers. Okay, I'm going to stop on mine. So you see I have the greenery all the way around here, around the bottom here, and around that, that one flower I'm going to put here. I've got a leaf here, maybe a couple that might signify a leaf possibly later. And I think one thing I'm going to do here, add maybe a couple of leaves coming out here on the bottom. Just real simple. Like I said, this is your painting. I'm just going to show you a few little tips and tricks, but you can make this how you want. I add a few smaller leaves here and there, just for fun. Just for kicks and giggles, as I usually say. Don't want to overdo it, but just a little bit. Okay, in your greenery, go ahead and do a different lighter shade, probably a lighter shade, in places inside your greenery. Just here and there. That will give us some more places that we can do some ink. Didn't have any rhyme or reason to the leaves, but when you ink these, you're gonna make them pop. That's what you're gonna do. Okay. You're just kind of touching on things to give the illusion of leaves and greenery. Okay, and then I'd wash your brush out. And the next thing we need to do when you get to this point, you're going to need to dry this real well. So, excuse the sound, but grab your hair dryer. Mine is, oh my gosh, this thing, I've had this for years. Look at that, guys. Is that not something? That's an old one. Oldie but goodie, but it still works. I look for it to quit anytime, but I'm going to put this underneath the table, and I'm going to try to blow dry this real quick. You guys do yours too. Okay, if you've not put your paint on too thick, then it will dry pretty quick. Acrylic paint will dry pretty quick. Mine is dry. There might be a few places that might be just a little tacky, but it is dry. Okay. Now think about your flowers here. Excuse me, I'm going to get a drink of tea. You need to get your colors out, if you don't already have them out, for your flowers. Now the base of the flowers, as you can see in the sample right here, the base is either a medium blue with some turquoise, or it's a yellow. That's the base of these flowers. So position these in different places where you would like your blues or your yellows. Now, like I said, you're the artist, you might want to change up your colors. So the only thing I recommend is kind of like, here's a yellow one over here, here's a yellow flower here, then I have one back down here, over here, and up here. Have a blue here, the larger one right here, which is more the focal point, and here. So I didn't put like all yellow on this side and all blue on that side. I kind of mixed them up, balanced them out on your painting, and that's something that you want to do when you do paint, is to try to balance out the features of your painting. So we are going to start first with the blue. I have got a clean brush here. I'm still using my, I'm still using my round one, the same one that we're going to do on all night, and I've blotted it on a towel here. Now, these are kind of fun. They're easy peasy, and they're fun. But watch how I do this. I'm going to dip my brush in the medium blue, right? And I'm just kind of loading it up. Not a lot of paint, just a little here. And I want to do this one up here, the small one first. And that would be a good one to start with. So all I'm doing is kind of following the shape. somewhat. It's not a complete circle. I'm leaving a little white here and there. And see, it's really a messy flower. You start out with a messy flower. You don't want just a complete circle, or you don't want a complete oval. You want to give it some life. So we've got some ridges here going on. Okay, here's my other one. Now on this one, I'm actually going to load my brush up again because I'm running out of paint, and just kind of tapping here and there, spreading the paint around, leaving a little white, and not making it so smooth on the edges, right? So I have another blue one over here, and I'm going to put it probably right here in part of the greenery. Above it, okay. Now this one over here, the center one, I'm going to make sure that I make it the largest one. So I've enlarged it a little bit. Now while my brush has still got some blue on it, I'm going to pull some turquoise on it, load some turquoise. Still got blue on it. And all I'm doing is just kind of touching in places with turquoise. Doesn't have to really be a certain brush stroke. I am kind of following along with the way maybe the petals might be, but you don't have to do that. Now I'm leaving blue. See, I'm not completely covering up all the blue, so don't do that. Come over here and do this one. So you should see like here, you still see some blue and some turquoise, blue and turquoise, blue and turquoise. Now I'm going to keep that same brush. I'm going to dip a little bit in my white. Let's see what happens. It's going to lighten it up considerably, but the main thing is it's going to lighten those colors up too. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. You want to be able to see all the colors. You might need to, like I just had to go ahead and dip a little bit of water on my brush. Make the paint kind of more smooth. And oh goodness, I got in yellow. Don't get in yellow, guys. Won't hurt it, but I'm going to try to get that off of there. Meant to get in the white, and my brush dipped in the yellow. It's okay, we'll just bring it around. We'll just pat it around there. Now, I always tell you get your little oops rag, and when that happens, you just take you a damp paper towel and you just tap it. Don't rub it, but tap it, because it happens to us all. It does. It's part of art. Just part of it. Okay. Now I've got white, not yellow on there. So I'm just kind of adding some of the white in places, leaving blue, leaving turquoise. And this is the whole point. You want to see all three colors throughout these flowers. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and start on the yellow. Basically, the yellow is loading up your brush in just yellow, and you're doing the same type of painting, just like you did the other ones. You don't want a complete circle. You want to kind of make it a little rough, maybe leave some white. Now this yellow here is going to be harder to cover. So on the lines that I drew, they're going to show for a little while. I'm going to bring some yellow down here too, wherever you think. It's not going to show up quite as well on that green, so what you do is you dip your brush in a little bit of white and you lighten that up and see what happens there. Let's do another one over here. I'm going to dip my brush still. It has a yellow in it. And I'm going to just bring that yellow just like we did on the blue. Even with that kind of dirty brush, I'm still bringing some white over those yellow strokes. Let me make sure I see comments. Hope you guys are telling me where you're from. Some of you, I know where you're from. Thank you for joining. Okay. Now, it's starting to come together for you guys, but it is at that stage. It looks a little, right? So, let's wash our brush out. Once you get your white and your yellow and your blue and your turquoise and white, then we're going to dip. We've got a clean brush, and I'm going to dip it in my light pink. Now, I don't want much pink at all, so I'm actually going to use this pink as like a watercolor. See how I've just thinned it out with some water. And what I'm going to do, you don't have to do this, but I'm just adding a little bit of pink here and there and using it like watercolor. Make sure you have plenty of water to kind of make this work. And just here and there, I'm adding a little bit of color with the pink. If you get too much, then you take your oops towel, dampen it, and you start kind of tapping around to lighten that up if you think you've got too much. And that will soften it. But it still gives you a little bit of a background, more like a watercolor background actually. Some right down here. Through here. Now, I know some of you are probably wondering, well, gosh, my flowers don't look so hot. But the part of the pen and ink, that's the part that you kind of get to use your imagination, where you want your leaves, for sure. And you might even get to add a few more leaves, right? So I'm just tapping and pouncing a little bit with a damp, just a little damp paper towel to get it kind of the shade that I like. And it's a very light pink. I'm going to leave it just like that. I don't want to do any more to it. Okay, my friends. Let's take a little breather here. I'm watching the clock. We're doing good. If you think you need to add some leaves, do it now. Do it now. But you can always add them later also. So get your flowers the way you kind of want them. If you want to add a little bit more turquoise to them or white to them, just kind of play a little bit. Just play. If you want softer colors, then I would go ahead and tint your paints, whatever your color you want to do, with a little bit of white. I love turquoise. That's one of my favorite colors. Now, as you can see, in this one here, it actually looked like I had a little bit of a purple going on. And I have my brush strokes going this way. This one here is kind of going around in a circle. This one here is going around the top, but then you've got some strokes. So now is the time to try to get your brush strokes the way you want them. I don't think I was trying to make a purple with this here, but it's a little bit like purple, yeah. I use my light pink with a little bit of blue to add some purple to that blue, but you don't have to at all. Now, let's finish. I've got to finish my yellow here because I can still see quite a bit of the background showing through. So now's the time. We got our yellow on our flowers. And now is when, if this one down here is a little bit, move that so you can see this one's a little bit faint. So I'm kind of touching these up a little bit more with the yellow. And we're going to add a darker golden color to the yellow flowers. Okay, while that's still wet and I have yellow on my brush, I'm dipping it, like I did the other ones, in the yellow ochre. Now it comes across as pretty strong at first, and I might want to take some of that off. So I would dip just a little bit in there. I wouldn't go too crazy. I think it looks good when you at least have your center of your flower a little darker, because it gives the illusion of the center of your flower, right? Soften this color up some. Now the fun thing about these, you can just continue to play with this however long you want, because you can just keep on adding. Now the one thing you have to be careful with, you don't keep adding a lot of colors wet on wet, or you'll end up with mud. So you have to add layers, usually by drying each layer. Now I've got just the yellow ochre, and I'm going to add just a little bit here and there in my greenery area. Kind of add some background dimension. It's like something else is peeking up through, maybe some small little flowers peeking around. So look how much that adds. Just a few little areas that you're just touching. No certain movement, no certain direction. And just kind of moving them here and there. Soften them up, spread it out a little bit. Okay, now's the time, my friends, that we need to for sure get the way we want our flowers to look, the brush strokes. So if you want them to kind of have different petals, this is when you need to make sure that you get it the way you want it, the shape. If you want to add some more white, highlighting some petals, that's fine too. There's so many ways you can do this. But I'm going to add a little white here. Like I said, these are more abstract. And as you can tell, the more you go back and the more details, it's starting to look more like flowers, right? Okay. Hope you guys are enjoying this. There's no right or wrong. Please let me know in the comments later if you have enjoyed this painting tonight. If you feel like it was relaxing or if it made you nervous. If you like painting still but not take forever doing it, I really would like to know your input on this. So please comment, give me a personal message if you would like, or just let me know what you're thinking. I'm adding some white to my yellow, as you can see. Covered up some of my lines that I did. A little bit of a darker center to my yellow. I'm just touching. It's just kind of it's just touch painting, I think. Tonight it's just tapping, basically. Just tapping. I would add a little bit of a, if you have like a center in your blue too, your flowers, I would maybe add just a little bit of that dark yellow in that too. But for sure, the yellow ones need a little kind of a golden center, I feel like. Okay, my friends, we're going to have to dry these. So get your hair dryers out. Let's get these dried. I'll put it under the table here. Hope that's not too loud for you, but you have to dry them, all right? So I try to do it under the table. So go ahead and continue drying those. And then get your pen out, because that comes the fun part now. But it has to be dry for you to do this. It'll kind of mess up your painting. I am going to use my micron here. Let's pick my micron. It's 03 size, archival ink. I use this on my, also use this on this pen on my stationery that I paint and several things, but it does really, really well with this here. When you want to do a kind of a pen and ink painting type thing, type night. Wash some of my paint off while we're kind of waiting on some to maybe dry. Oh, thank you. You love my teacup, huh? Thank you. Yeah, it will. Actually, you know, I didn't even plan on it. Look at that. It even kind of matches with the painting. Look at that. Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I didn't even plan that. I just had some peppermint tea. I thought, oh, that sounds good. I usually drink coffee, but I haven't been able to for a little bit. So, oh, well, thank you, Pam. That's the idea. I want to make it easy for you guys. I want to come up with ideas and things that you can still do art in an hour or less with, you know, minimal supplies. And it's still fun. It should be relaxing. That's my goal. That's what I want. Now, I do, of course, more advanced paintings. You know, I've got this one behind me that's a large painting, and we can do that too. But, you know, I just think most people don't have the time. A lot of people don't have time. And, but I really would appreciate your feedback, guys, if you can tell me on this thread. Now, you will be able to see this. You have to give me some time, but it will be downloaded into my YouTube channel also, Vicki Jean Wilson Art, and it'll of course be on this Facebook page too. But it'll take a little bit to download it on YouTube. But I will have that up for you that you will be able to watch anytime. But please tell me what you think about this. Usually when I do give tutorials, it's, you know, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, could be even longer. And I thought, you know, we can still learn some things if you would like, you know, and do it in a smaller amount of time. Now, you are going to probably see things, like I just noticed something, that I want to add a little bit of greenery out here, because it looks like my flower is kind of in mid-air. So I might want to add a little bit more greenery here and there. Now it's going to be a little wet, so I won't touch up on that one right yet. But you might find that you want to add a few leaves. You know, see, I like that look better. It just needed something. And that's what happens when you do this. You kind of take a moment's break. Sometimes you can, when you're painting, you step back, you know, kind of blink your eyes a little bit, look somewhere else, and then come back to it, or leave the room and then come back to it. You can always see something that you want to add. Always, always. Or you might see something you don't even like and you want to take it away. That happens too. So let's start with our pens here. And it, like I said, this needs to be dry. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Now look at here. See, it's real loose. I have some leaves that, see, I didn't paint that really looking like a leaf, but I made it look like a leaf by drawing. And it's basically just a leaf shape, right? I've got a stem coming down here into the greenery that goes up to the flower. You know, there again, I did balance. I've got some leaves up here, 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 in the center, all the way over here, around this. So what you're doing is just doing kind of a whimsical type of sketching. So let's start with this. I'm going to start with this one up here, this top one, and I'm just going around like that. Kind of outlining. Now, you don't want to be perfect. This whole thing is to not be perfect. This is to have fun, and you're not sitting there sketching the White House or something. You're trying to have fun with this, and you're going maybe outside the lines some. You're going to make up some leaves. You're going to, you know, just like that, right? I'm going to do a stem. That one needs, don't overdo it. Don't overdo this. You don't want to overdo it. You want to have fun with it, and you don't want scribbles all over, I don't believe. You want the main focus on your painting, but you want to see a little bit of detail with this pen. So here's a leaf here. Bring a stem out, and see, I'm going to go out, maybe even away, you know, add some veins to the leaf. Here's another one down here. So wherever you think you need to have leaves, let's do those first. And you're quickly sketching. There's not a big deal here. You're going around the flower. It's almost like a child's drawing here. A child that's just learning how to sketch. This is what I want. Like, look here. See, I went around that leaf. I didn't go to each little detail. And no, I didn't want it like that. So that's what I mean. Just have fun. Some sketching is right on the leaf. Some is over the leaf. Do the same thing with your flowers. You're just going to go around. You might not do too many, like this large one, look here, I just kind of went around. I didn't do anything in the center. The center kind of spoke for itself. Over here, I went around, and I also did a few strokes inside. I think this is fun. This is just the doodling part. See, we've worked, and now we get to doodle. Doodling's fun. Now, I hope that you let your painting dry, because if you didn't, you're going to have a problem with your pen. So make sure you've let it dry. Now, I'm actually going to actually sketch a leaf here. That's not even there. Right? Why not? Put a little leaf there. Imaginary leaf. I think that's kind of fun. I didn't paint any green behind it. Do another one over on this side. On that stem. That stem looked a little lonely. And jump down here and do this flower here. I might do a pretend leaf there. Some of them I have the veins of leaves, sometimes I don't. It's whatever you're feeling. This is the kind of art that you just kind of feel. If you want to put a line there, put a line there. If you don't want to put a line there, don't. Don't have to, no stressing about it, nothing like that. Now you can doodle till the cows come home. You can do this all night long, and you can add more details to it if you would like. I personally am not. To me, mine looks like it has some balance to it. I might do a leaf over here though. I've got some leaves down here on the bottom and all the way in the center. Up here. Up here. Might do another one up here, like a kind of a leaf that doesn't exist really with paint, but I've added. Now, if you want to, guys, and if you're good with lettering, depending on the size you've got, but you could always do some type of lettering on here too. Some words, that would be great also. But right now, I think I'm fine. I've kind of doodled around all of my flowers. I've got the leaves balanced. I am going to sign the bottom right. And I think, guys, we've done this. We've got it. Don't know what our time is. Looks like we did it in about 48 minutes. And like I said, you can always add more to this. If your greenery is too dark in places, go ahead and tint that green. Or if you want to use another color, you can do that also. Be sure to send me some pictures if you would like. I would love to see what you're thinking. Susan, I just got here. Can't wait to see how to pull it all together. Okay, good. I'm glad you got to join us. Thank you, everybody who did join tonight. Excuse me. Allergies are... The Oops Towel works wonderful. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I always keep one. I keep one for my large paintings when I paint them. I keep one for these, and I recommend everybody to have that. Now, you can also, you can use a baby wipe, too. I just try not to have any chemicals with it, so I just use a plain paper towel and dampen it with clean water, and always have it off to the side. Not saturated, but dampened. And just put that on the side and keep that, because you'd be surprised, you know, even sometimes from, like, if you put your paint off to the right over here and you've got your brush and you're moving off to the left, sometimes you got drips, and it's just always handy to have, because what happens, we kind of panic sometimes if we have an issue. But I like the way mine turned out tonight. I hope you guys like the way yours turned out also. And I'm glad you got to join us for the PJ party. If you would like to see more, please let me know. That way, that's the only way I would know if you would like it or not. And if you could, I would appreciate that too, right here. And, you know, we're not allowed to say that. So I just have to put a fancy sign and show you. If you would, I appreciate that also. So I hope you've got a good rest of your evening. And, oh, good. Thank you, Sue. You're very welcome. I'm glad you liked it. And like I said, you will get to see the replay if you couldn't paint with me tonight. And I will be on my YouTube channel here shortly. And it also will be on the Facebook on my business page. So, yes, we did it, guys. And so when I was on here earlier, I said, you know, I asked a question, and do you think we can paint something in less than an hour with minimal supplies and still have fun at it, still have a nice painting, still learn some techniques? Yes, we can. So thank you for watching. It's Vicki Jean here with Vicki Jean Wilson Art, where I teach you simple sketching and painting techniques to create art that you love. So I hope you love your painting, and have a good rest of your evening. Bye-bye.